Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is the presentation of the latest MPAI call for proposals. The title is Upsampling Filter for Video Applications, and the acronym is MPAI UFV, and it is version 1.0 of that future standard. So why does MPAI calls for upsampling filter for video applications? The reason is that video transmission system, consume a lot of bandwidth, and therefore it is easier to reduce the resolution of the video to be transmitted before coding. On the other hand, in receiving devices, you may receive the different videos with different resolutions, but typically the received video's resolution is lower than that of the display. And therefore, a high-performance, super-resolution standard video upsampling filter can provide a high-quality video and be used in many applications. That is the reason. So, 2 words about the call. The call for technology requests parties having rights to technology satisfying the document that is called the use cases and functional requirement. All this is posted on the web, so you can go to MPAI.community and navigate and get here. But also the framework license of the technical specification of sampling filter for video applications with acronym MPAI UFV version 1.0, which is not an existing, but it is a planned technical specification to respond to the call for technology, preferably using the template for responses. And this is another document that is posted on the web, and you can easily consult and download. The goal of this standard is to develop a standard upsampling filter that offers optimal performance when it is used to produce a video with a higher resolution starting from a lower resolution video. And we intended to do that using the responses that we will receive to the call. The submissions will be assessed. They will be improved by collaboration of the active parties, which are both MPAI members and new members. But as you will see, in order to participate, you have to be an MPAI member. And they will be used to develop this planned technical specification, of course, if a submission is found suitable. So, first of all, 2 words about MPAI. MPAI stands for Moving Picture Audio and Data Coding by Artificial Intelligence. It is an international, unaffiliated, non-profit standard development organization. We develop AI-based data coding standard, but we also add clear intellectual property right licensing frameworks. One slide to say more about at this point, which is about making standard accessible and timely available. So before we start a standard, the principal members who are active in the area develop and adopt the framework license. This, in spite of its name, is not a license because it does not contain values, doesn't contain dollars, percentage, dates, and so on. But the framework license declares that the eventual license will be issued at a price comparable with similar standard technology and not after products are on the market. During the development, any member making a contribution declares it will make its license available according to the framework license, and after the development, the members holding IP in the standard select the preferred patent pool administrator. So this is what MPAI does to make our standard accessible and timely available. So what is the job of MPAI? Is to develop technical specification, essentially. And the main steps for the development of a technical specification are, first, we must have the functional requirement. And this is done in an open environment with participation also on non-MPAI members. Adoption of commercial requirements, and so this is what we mean by framework license, by MPAI principal members, setting guidelines for the future commercial license to be issued by standard essential patent holders. Of course, the eventual license, which that will be a license, not the framework license, is of course developed by the SEP holders. Then we publish a call to technologies, like we are published for this standard, referring to the functional and commercial requirements, and inviting parties who are accepted to license their technology according to the framework license, if their technology are accepted to be part of the target technical specification, and we ask that to submit a response. Then we collaboratively develop the standard using responses received. So this is a quick overview of what I've said in the previous slides. So we start from a proposal, we develop use cases, functional requirement, commercial requirement, we issue call for technologies. We are at this stage. We develop the standard, and before publishing the standard, we publish it for community comments. And then beyond the technical specification, we have reference software conformal testing and performance assessment. This is part of the MPAI policy. So this is the organization. As you see, it's quite articulated. So we have quite a few development committees. And we also have the requirements standing committee within which this work was developed. So you will see EVC. EVC is the name of the group that has developed this call. So this is a list of the standard that MPAI has developed so far. The red one, of course, is the upsampling for video application, which is not the standard yet, but it has been added to this table, together with other standards that are still under development. Actually, well, AI for health is under development. So is survey-based predictive multiplayer gaming, and so is XR venues. So this is what MPAI has done to respond to its mission of developing data coding standards using AI. Then you may like to know more about the people who have developed this call. So these people belong to the group which is called AI-based enhanced video coding, and it is a group of the requirements standing committee. Over the years, the group has explored different technologies that use AI to improve the performance of traditional video codecs, published several papers at major conferences, and this is what has led directly to this call. They have explored the use of super resolution technology to improve the quality of videos. And finally, develop the call for technology and attached documents. So what do we expect to gain from this specification? Well, this is just an expectation, but we know that at least we can reach 20% more than the standard upsampling filter. So here is the experiment that we have done. We have used encoded sequences, luminance, but they are also confirmed with subjective test with expert viewing. Then we trained the super resolution network with these sequences. We have upsampled from super resolution, standard definition to high definition, from high definition to 4K, with these encoded sequences. Then, as I said, we have found that the gain is about 20%. And maybe you will ask, well, but this is because it was it was performed using exactly the sequence that they were encoded with a particular coding. No, that is not the case, because we have seen the training and testing performed on the same type of coded sequences only give a performance of just 1%. So it means that the result that we have obtained justify developing a generic upsampling filter for video applications. So how are we going to develop this technical specifications? So we will use the technology that satisfies the following mandatory requirement. They satisfy use cases and functional requirement and are proposed by respondent to accept the MPAI UFV framework license. The technology may be integrated by subsequent members' contribution. Like I said, I mean, it's not one shot. There will be a collaborative development. During development and during interaction, there will be new ideas and people may develop. And again, we expect that this contribution to be submitted, the stating acceptance of the framework license. What about the responses? Okay, first of all, you need not be an MPAI member. It is not a prerequisite for responding to the scope for technologies. But if a submission or a part of a submission is accepted for inclusion in the standard, the proponent should join MPAI. If the proponent does not join MPAI, will use the opportunity to have the accepted technology included in the standard. MPAI will select the most suitable technologies strictly based on their technical merits. And MPAI is not obligated to select a particular technology or even any of the proposed technology if those submitted are found to be inadequate. So these are the conditions. And of course, this is a very high-level summary. You should use you should read the call for technology to see all the details. So let's go to the technical side of all this, because well, we do expect a submitter to contribute, to submit a few documents, a few results, also software. So the first point is an Annex 1. Annex 1 is one page where you are asked to say who you are, your organization, what is your intention. I mean, they are 5, 6 sentences in total, very, very simple. Then a complete description of the technology with a level of detail that allows people who have sufficient knowledge to develop and implement a proposed filter, and I must add, without help from the submitter. So the proposal should be comprehensive. Then it should also be, the following should also be submitted. The software elements, they are to be uploaded to the MPAI Git. All the details that, of course, are behind all this are described in the call. They are the Docker image that contains the encoding and decoding environments, encoder, decoder, and bit streams. The upsampling filter in source code. So this is a preferred submission, but executable form is also acceptable. However, proponents of accepted proposal will be requested to provide the source code of the upsampling filter. So if your proposal will not be accepted, you need not disclose your code. But if your proposal is accepted, then we need to have the source code. Then we also need Python scripts so that testers don't have a hard time repeating your results. Following, then we have tables of objective quality results obtained by the submitter, of course, with their proposal solution, the decoded test sequences, the upsampling results for HD to AD and HD to 4K obtained with the proposed solutions, Then we have a VMAF, a BD rate assessment, provided with a graph for each QP and the table with minimum, maximum, and average value for each sequence. Then we also require a complete complexity assessment. This is the baseline is to use Mac per pixel and the number of parameters in the upsampling filters. But we also recommended to use this SADL as a complexity assessment. Then there is an Annex 2. The Annex 2 is very simple, and it is a formal acceptance of the framework license. So there are also optional elements of submission. The other ones are mandatory. Any comments on the completeness, appropriateness of the functional requirement, any motivated suggestions to amend or extend those requirements, a preliminary real-time demonstration with a sufficient detailed document describing it, and any other additional relevant information that may help evaluate the submission. So, what should you do to submit a response? So you are advised that there will be a presentation. Well, you know, because this is the presentation, and also people will read that you will be able to access this presentation offline. We are requested to communicate their intention to respond to the call with this famous Annex 1 I mentioned before, and that should be by the 17th of December. Note that this is not a requirement, but you know, this helps MPAI making an appropriate planning. And also because the secretary must know your identity in order to allow access to the MPAI Git. So you're also encouraged to regularly visit the MPAI UFV webpage, where there may be additional information posted. More. So you are required mandatorily to deliver the submission to the Secretariat by the 11th of February at 23:59 UTC. The Secretariat will acknowledge the receipt of your submission. You are required to attend the review of submissions, and that the schedule for that will be decided and communicated by the 53rd MPAI General Assembly, which will be on the 19th of, so it is 8 days after the submission deadline. Submitters will be informed, and respondent will be asked to present their submission at the review session. Note that if there is no presenter, then the submission is discarded. So how to evaluate the submission? Yeah, of course, this is the key point. So we will create an evaluation team. And the members of that team will be, I mean, any MPAI member who wishes to join will be accepted as member. But then a non-MPAI member representatives who are respondents to any of the received submissions, which means not just to your, you are a permanent member of the evaluation team, but by virtue of your response. And then MPAI may also want to involve non-respondent experts in a consulting capacity. And note that no one from MPAI members and from submitters will be denied membership in the evaluation panel if they request it. By evaluation panel, I mean evaluation team. So this, technically speaking, so this is the process. For each proposal, there will be a member of the evaluation team, and note that this member can very well be a submitter, of course not the submitter of the proposal that is being evaluated in this context. So this member will compare the test set encoded with QP values 22, 27, 32, 37, 42, upsample with bicubic and upsample with the proposed upsampling filter using the VMAV BD rate matrix. The same member will compute the latency, which is defined by the number of frames used by the upsampling process, and will also verify the complexity using Mac per pixel and number of parameters. Then the respondent present their proposal to the evaluation team, and the evaluation team will make a question. So there will be a very, very, very interactive session. And finally, this is important to note that the test set is not known and will not be known until after the deadline for submission. And the test set will be provided by a respected academic after the submission deadline, and it will be co-decoded with the 3 codec, AVC, HEVC, and DVC. So which are the features that will be considered? Completeness of description, understandability of description, performance of proposal. Of course, this is very important. Latency, complexity, software implementability, and model scalability. And here you have a summary description of what all these words mean. Please consult the text of the call where you will see more details of it. So the timeline is, so MPAI had a General Assembly on the 20th of this month, and is presenting the call. This is today. You are requested to submit a proposal, your intention to submit a proposal. That will be on the 17th of December. This is not, as I said, mandatory, but it's highly recommended. Then the response submission deadline is the 12th of February, and the start of response evaluation will be the 19th of February. Finally, this is the end of my presentation. We do look forward to working with you. And this is really an exciting MPAI project, something that, of course, exists, practically exists, and they are deployed in television sets and other environment. But this is the first attempt at standardizing such an upsampling filter. And, well, in any case, whether you join and you are successful, or you you submit and you are successful. You submit and you are not successful, or you don't submit, you are still invited to join MPAI and share the fun with us, because we have a lot of fun while building the future. Thank you for your attention.